everybody. BJJ White Belt Talk again. I'm your host, Tim Smith. Coming at you live with social nerds. That's my biggest thing, art, animation. I enjoy doing that a lot, but we specifically talking jiu-jitsu right now. So the topic of discussion today is pretty much fitness and nutrition. So for any of y'all that that decides to compete, well, really it's just not competing, just in general, but we're just going to talk from the competition aspect. I would suggest that you highly take fitness and nutrition highly. And the reason why I say that is because it's injury prevention, it's fatigue prevention, and it's pretty much a gateway to start a different way of life. I myself, I'm a testimony to that, because in my past two tournaments, I've had issues where fatigue got to me the most. Now, for most people, if you're very proactive, you'll learn after your first competition. But me being in the military, I thought that was enough for what I do on a daily basis as far as PT. Yeah, it helps to a certain extent, but like for the whole scope of it, it doesn't. Fitness should be a consistent thing as far as like your fitness and competition fitness. So like when I say that is, for most, like, and I'm digging into the military again. For most people, their fitness is what they do on a daily basis as far as PT and stuff like that. Now, for some other people's fitness, they might do things like Zumba and all that fun stuff. But when you look at it, what jiu-jitsu demands, period, it does demand a lot of physical work, which can cause injury and fatigue. Now, what's the next question I'm gonna say? Well, what somebody would ask, let me correct myself. They would say, well, what type of fitness that you do? Well, for most people, cardio is a great way of going about fitness for jiu-jitsu. I would say, intermediate weightlifting. Like, I'm not telling you to be a power lifter or anything like that, but I would say like light weightlifting, like, the typical stuff, deadlifts, curls, bench press, and hip thrusters. That's a big important one, hip thrusters, because a lot of times for like the smaller competitors or practitioners, we're on our backs a lot. So like, when you bridging, shrimping out, or if you got guard, you want to have like pretty much a strong base on all of it. So I would highly suggest you incorporate hip thrusters in your routine, and also adequate dieting. Like if you're trying to make weight, really take in consideration what you're going to eat. Meal prepping is probably the best way to go. For me, I have an active lifestyle. I work odd times, but I still have the discipline to like make my meals. For most people, the Sundays are the typical meal prep days. And if budget comes along with that issue, I would just say, instead of having different meals for meal prep, just mentally put together the fact that you'll probably have to make a big portion of a meal that you're cooking to save money, and that'll last you at least a couple of days before you have to incorporate another meal. But yes, weightlifting, cardio, and an adequate diet. Now, with your diet, learn how to portion out, your starches, your veggies, and you know, changing meats. Like for the most part, I would say the best meats to incorporate in your diet is pretty much chicken and fish. You know, I think that was more of the leaner meats that's pretty healthy, good for you. You know, incorporate that in your meals. You know, but I spoke on this. I was speaking on this particular subject because this is something that I think is constantly overlooked, especially if you're trying to go somewhere within the jiu-jitsu community and sport. So, you know, keep these in mind. You know, conditioning and dieting. And I believe that not only as you excel with your jiu-jitsu practice, but your overall health will probably be better. It'll reduce injury and fatigueness. So keep those in mind when it comes to those jiu-jitsu. I'm your host, Tim Smith. I hope you guys have a good day, and remember to subscribe, Social Nerds Animation, and I will constantly post these BJJ talks. Hopefully within the next 2 segments, I have some actual you know, competitors speak on, you know, some of their, you know, their insight on the sport, and, you know, give us further understanding on how to better ourselves and have a complete understanding of situations and how to think when we compete or practice. So you guys have a good day. Remember to subscribe and see me next week. I'll post another video. All right.